So we have to talk about this platform change that YouTube made. They removed the dislike from all videos. I'm sure you guys are well aware because I'm sure you're feeling the impact. So in this video, we're going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about, I guess, my opinion on why I think they made the change. And then we'll also look at, if you stick around, a couple of workarounds that are available out there. So let's dig in. My name is Ron Thomas. Welcome to Logical Money, where we optimize convenience and maximize money. So we're going to talk about the what, the why, the fallout, the future, and let's get right into the why or the what. Let's start with the what. So I think we all know what happened. We all feel it. YouTube decided to remove that dislike button on all videos. So we can't see it anymore. And it's a lot of fallout. A lot of people do not like it. There's been a lot of big YouTubers with, larger followings that have done their own videos. They pretty much don't like it. I know Marquise Brownlee did a video, so you can either check that out. But the video you really might want to look at is Matt Colville's. He did a video, and he's, I guess, YouTube's content creator ambassador, and he actually described what the change is about, the reasoning and all that. So check that out, because in that video you can cast your vote whether you like it or dislike it. So that's really the what, and let's look at the why. So in Matt Colville's video, he talked about mental health issues and addressing that. He also talked about people, I guess, bombing the dislike button to, I guess, sabotage other people's YouTube channel. So I have to take them for their word that, that's the reasoning. To me, I think those issues could be addressed in a different way, especially through technology. So, but I'm gonna take them at face value. Your reasoning is your reasoning. So that's their why. As far as what I think their why is, and this came out during his video when he started talking about watch time. And I guess they did a study, the researchers did a study, and they said that the watch time, there was no difference between the watch time, whether they had the like or the dislike button there or not. So, which I was kind of like, well, of course, the dislike button, if you don't have it, we use that as a indicator whether the content is valuable or not. We look at that dislike to like ratio. I use it, and I usually, my cutoff is like 3%. If that ratio is above 3% dislike to likes, then I usually don't watch the video. So of course the watch time would be, similar, because you have to watch content that you really would have not watched otherwise. So that rationale didn't really set well with me. But I do think it has to do with watch time. But there's another reason, and I think it's because what they want is for, us to watch more of their videos so they can make more money, so that they can, have more advertisers revenue. So, I think it always usually comes down to money. And I think in this case that is the situation. So, when you think about it, it's just inconvenience for the consumer. And I think that's why, we've seen so much fallout. Now, in my opinion, I think it may have been a C-level executive needs to meet some metrics or some numbers for the fourth quarter. So, okay, you got November, you got December. Maybe we'll get them to reverse course in 2022. But we'll see. They seem to be pretty dug in. So, yeah, I'll kind of leave it there. But I think they did misjudge how valuable the value people use that dislike button for. So, and I think that's where all the fallout is coming from. So now as for the future, we'll see. I think Google, for the most part, is consumer centric, and they hopefully value their consumer, and they don't want, to annoy their consumer. So maybe they'll reverse course. I do think that it's, all about the data. And I think when the data comes in over the next month or two, they'll realize that, this was not a change that we will have received. So I guess also for the future, and this is where some of the workarounds come in. As a data guy, I use, like I said, I use the dislike to like ratio, but I also use the like to view ratio. And for some reason, that 3% was another benchmark for me and the type of video that I watch. It may be different for other YouTubers or people who view content on YouTube. If they watch different types of content, but I usually watch educational type videos. And now if the like to view ratio also 3%, it seems to be my cutoff, but I want it to be 3% or higher, so to tell whether I'll watch it or not. As where the dislike, I wanted it to be 3% or lower. So those are some metrics that has worked for me. So in the past, so that's one workaround you can use if they continue to not show the dislike count. But who knows? We'll see what happens. But for the bonus workaround, there is actually a Chrome extension. I think it's called Return YouTube Dislike. Return YouTube Dislike. It's a Chrome extension. I did install it, and it works. And so I can now see the dislike count. And the only trick with this extension is they're using the API from YouTube to get that data. And YouTube did say, I think December 13th, they're going to not send that dislike value in their API feed. So it seems like this is just a short-term fix that you can use. And that may be going away, but it seems like the developers of that extension seem confident that they'll still be able to provide some type of count. Maybe it may not be, or dislike count that may not be quite as accurate, but it seems like they still think that they'll be able to provide that. So we'll see. But in the meantime, you can kind of start to use some of those ratios while you can see both the like and dislike, and kind of compare them to see where your cutoffs are. And if they don't return it, then you at least have another option to value whether content is going to be worth your time or not. Of course, we all value our time, so and that's another reason why I just kind of floored that YouTube would make this change. But like I said, I think they're getting enough pushback, and they reverse course. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope you guys found value, and I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching.